What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast, your favorite college football podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and we're here with the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is. No introduction needed, Mr. Ray Roberts. What's up, man?
How you in there, Jerome?
I'm hanging in there, man. Hanging in there. I'm ready to just talk because me and you was already talking before this started, man, and I'm ready to talk about it because this is some crazy stuff going on. I got you guys gotta look at our records. It's not good. Our record is not good right now. And it just tells you how crazy this season been, man. People being ranked number one, getting dropped. People ranked in the top four, getting dropped. Everything's moving, shuffling around. It's insane. But before we get started, man, overall, what's your thought of how this college season is going so far for you?
I'm trying to figure out who was a good team. To be honest with you, what is a good
hard
team?
to tell. It's hard to tell, man.
What is a good team? I mean,
you got inconsistent, teams. Then you got teams that you thought was good, but then they struggling against worse teams. Then you got teams that some people say don't have good schedules. Then you got teams that people thought was great get falling off of the top four. The juggernaut, Alabama's not up there. They barely in the top 10. So let's get right into it, Ray. Let's get right into the rankings because obviously that was the big news from yesterday where all the rankings, Tennessee losing on Saturday. Ohio State kind of struggle over this weekend. Michigan still rolling, but again, everybody don't think we have a good record. Clemson losing. It was a wild weekend, Ray. It was a wild weekend. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning of that Rutgers game, you guys know I'm a Michigan fan. In the beginning of that Rutgers game, I was like, "Oh no, this is not happening now. It's not happening now." We did pull out. We did, have a great second quarter. But let's talk about these other teams. Let's talk about the rankings because, woo, boy, I mean. I'm gonna rattle off the top 10 for anybody that haven't seen it last night. Number one, Georgia. I think we all expected that, beating the number one team. So now they're back to number one. Ohio still not a huge surprise. They did struggle last week, but I don't think that was a huge surprise. Michigan looked very dicey. They're number three right now. Look very dicey at the half, but to pull it out, they look like the team that they should have been. Number four, TCU, undefeated TCU. Some people think, still don't necessarily view them as a good team yet. I'm not gonna say who, but somebody. Yeah. Number five, Tennessee. Tennessee's falling all the way to 5. That was a little surprise to me. I thought there was at least gonna be 4. Especially be at number 1, but they went to 5. Okay. We're gonna talk about all this. Number 6, Oregon, 8-1 record. Looked pretty good. Had a great week 1. Kind of fell off a little bit, but was kind of struggling until recent. And I think they would look pretty good. Number 7 got LSU coming off a huge win against Alabama. Kudos to them. I think they deserve to be in the top 10. We'll see how they continue. They're only top 10 team that have second only top 10 team with only 2 losses. One of them being Alabama. We'll be talking about them in a second. USC, a team that I figured might be better than they are. They don't look too impressive to me, which I thought they should be at least. We'll see. Number 9, Alabama. Just talked about them losing 2 games in one season. I don't think I've ever seen that in my lifetime. So that's kind of weird for me, at least. I don't know, Ray, maybe you've seen that, but I haven't. We'll talk about that in a second. And then number 10, Clemson, the team that I said been struggling, just lost to an unranked team, being race team. North Carolina, Notre Dame, losing to them this weekend, and not only just losing, but losing badly. So, Ray, let's dive into this. What stands out to you?
That I told you TCU should be a top 4 team, and they are.
You did say that. I'm not.
You gave me the old the no stinky emoji when I said that, but the record is what the record is, man. You can't deny it anymore.
No, I give it to you because they're the only other unranked team.
Unbeaten, yeah.
Yeah, I mean unbeaten. I'm sorry, I said unranked. Yeah, They're the only other unbeaten team, so it does make sense in that sense. And I'll talk about my grades about this in a second. Anything else stands out to you, bro?
Um, I do remember Alabama teams not always being great before Nick Saban got here. Um, no, just like I said before, like I'm having a hard time finding out who are really the elite teams. I don't know if there is an elite team this year, to be honest with you.
Definitely, definitely. Again, guys, you guys are live in this chat room. So again, we do our podcast each week live. So it's not recorded right now. So if you are watching this live, you are currently watching this right now. You're live. So if you want to put a comment in the chat room, really do appreciate that. And let us know what you think about these rankings. But I'm gonna point out a couple of things. I kind of already kind of mentioned it already. TCU not still not sold on them. Not particular. I don't think they played any good defenses yet. I'm gonna look at their schedule right now. They played Colorado, um, TRLST. I'm guessing that's I don't know what that is. TCU. I'm sorry. SMU. They play Oklahoma. They're ranked. They play Kansas. They are ranked. They did play Oklahoma State. Beat them in overtime. Took them overtime to beat them. They are ranked. K State. They're ranked. West Virginia and Texas Tech. Undefeated right now. They do have a big game next week. Texas. We'll talk about that also. So looking at the schedule now, they actually play some actually pretty decent teams. I'm not gonna lie, they have. Um, so I give it to it. I give it to you, Ray. I didn't realize. I don't know. Maybe it's just been off my radar. I don't know, but you have
I
to
mean, you
watch a little.
said you made a statement of you don't know because they haven't played a lot of good defense. Is Alabama a good defense right now?
I'm talking about TCU. They haven't played TCU.
I know, no, they haven't, but is
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
that,
Alabama. I don't know what's up with them, man. I really don't. I guess not, right? It's hard to even it's hard for me to even say that on a Nick Saban team, but they haven't been playing that role. They haven't been playing Nick Saban defense. Right.
I mean, honestly,
At least that elite defense, like that we were used to.
I would have never thought it going into the season, but Georgia is still the number one team in the country for a reason. They're the best team in
Yeah,
college football right now.
I
That's
agree.
saying a lot, but they are what they are.
Yeah,
Everybody went crazy because Tennessee scored a bunch of points against Alabama. Well, that's not really looking so hard right now because everybody else is doing the same thing.
yeah. No, I agree.
I mean,
And
like,
then
of course, the guys that make the polls overreact every week, so it is what it is.
yeah, and I think that's the thing when and we talked about this when we was a little offline, off the air rather. The two teams that I had a problem with where they're ranked, I didn't have a problem that they were ranked or even ranked high. Just like the placement of it, like Tennessee went from 6-1, and I get it in a sense where you banking on the hype, you banking on they had the potential Heisman runner up. I think that changed a little bit now. But and they came off a huge win against Alabama, and obviously it is Alabama, but to rank them number one was kind of weird to me. I get yes, they played a lot of ranked teams. I get it, but I think the quality of the ranked teams wasn't that great, honestly. And then you have what was the other team? Clemson. Clemson was another one that was ranked over Michigan. And again, I know everybody's gonna keep saying Michigan haven't played anybody. I get that too, but like to pick Clemson that high when it's been the definition of inconsistent this year. I mean, geez, man. And then to see where they at both right now, 5 and 10 right now. I mean, it's for me. I feel like they overrank teams too quick, and I feel like especially right before their big games, they've been doing that. Like it's literally right before their big games. They're like, oh yeah, they're number one, and then they're about to play that big game and they drop them so far so fast. It's just weird to me, like and it's like I don't know, Ray. I don't know. It's just I just don't like when they keep doing that. It's just weird, like. how they're ranking them, to be honest.
We talked about the rankings last week that the teams weren't in positions that we thought they should be in, but again, we don't make the rankings, we just
Correct.
follow them. So
Yeah,
I don't understand why Tennessee was ranked that high,
I
but
would have said
they
2 or
did.
3 at
Yeah,
least.
right. Well, that's the
I'd be
thing.
okay with that.
If you're ranked 6 and you beat the number 1 team in the country, that doesn't mean you take their spot. That means you
Yeah,
go up into the top 3. You don't
correct.
take their spot, but that's what they
Yeah,
did. So
yeah.
you don't do
And
that.
man, they felt really fast. I mean, jeez, real
Georgia
fast.
dominated them.
Yeah, they did.
Georgia's defense dominated that offense.
No, they did. They did. And same deal with Clemson. Clemson got dominated too, man. So
Yeah,
but,
they got
I,
Clemson's defense. Which was surprising part was their defense got dominated, and people thought Clemson, their defense was what they were going to be able to hang their hat on, and it's just not been the case all year.
100%, 100%. Yeah. So let's get to some of the games this week, Ray, because we need to talk about them, man. There's some great games, and we're gonna start off with the number one game of the whole weekend. I know everybody's watching it. Everybody was tuned in. I felt the presence down here, man. It was crazy because traffic was like I'm about 30 to 40 minutes away from Athens, and when I tell you I felt the traffic from over here, it was insane. My guy Luke Winston, shout out to Luke. Hope you're watching. He actually goes to UGA, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm about like a 20-minute walk from this school, and there's no parking at from where I'm at." It was just that insane. And the prices for parking, he was like, "Yeah, all the parking lots at $60, $80 for parking."
Wow.
And the closer you got, the higher it got. And he wasn't even halfway there. He was like, "You do this $80 right now." So I'm pretty
Wow.
sure, like right next to the schools. I mean, right, yeah, right next to the
Well,
stadium.
then you know what? Now, well, you just answered your question, Jerome. Why did they overrank Tennessee? Because they made it a bigger game against Georgia. Everybody got fat again.
No, you're right. Hey, yeah, you might be right about that. You talk about, we talked. I think we talked about this before with some of the politics they put into it. Man, it's
Well, we know that people just assume the SEC is the best conference in college football, and
mhm.
they have been. And I'm not saying they aren't right now, but they're not as strong as they've been the last few years. Obviously,
Yeah, no,
not.
I agree. But let's talk about the game, right? So obviously 27 to 13 game. Like we said, the defense looked really well. Hooker did not have a touchdown. He's 23 for 33, so his percentage wasn't that bad. But he didn't have a touchdown. He did have an interception. The rushing yards was only held at 94 yards. Passing yards was only 195 for a offense that was very explosive. They held Wyatt to only 6 catches, 63 yards. He's been going crazy lately. Who's their number one receiver? They haven't been doing much. So, what's your take on this whole game, Ray?
Honestly, the 27-13 does not indicate how lopsided of a game it was.
Mm.
We talk about Georgia's offense being like kind of like blah. It is. If they can't run the ball, they can't win because I don't want to say that Stetson Bennett stinks, but he stinks.
I don't want to say it, but I'll say it.
But I mean, he stinks, man. He's just about, I shouldn't say he's just about as average as it gets for a college quarterback. He really is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's helped out by the fact that they're a loaded team on defense and they get good field position over and over again, and they take advantage of it. And I mean, they're number one. They deserve to be number one. Their defense dominated one of the top offenses in college football. Like you said, Hooker looked average at best, and even though his completion percentage was fine, no big plays, which is unusual for Tennessee this year. So
Yeah. No. Yeah. I exactly. So they kept away all the big defenses. Um, the crazy thing about Georgia is that Bowers was not even that effective in the passing game. He had one catch the entire game for 7 yards. That's it.
you saw them playing multiple.
I'm sorry, that was his rushing yards. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. He only had three catches for 27 yards. Sorry.
Well, what you saw was they doubled him a lot. They chipped him at the line of scrimmage. They didn't let him get out in the pass patterns, and if you don't let him do that, then he's not he's not a game breaker. He's just not. He has to get downfield to be the player that he is. So
Yeah, they definitely did a good job on him, but it's still the fact that they did what they had to do without using their best weapon. So they stayed on the ground pretty good. They had a total of 130 yards, got a couple touchdowns through it. So man, yeah, like you said, right, dominated game. It was 23-3, I think it was. So like you say, the indication of this game was not even close. At first, they got the last minute touchdowns and things like that. So this game, I mean, hey, this tells you exactly who's number one, man. And you take number one to number two. I'm sorry, yeah, number one and number two, and face them against each other. No, it was 1 and 3. I'm sorry, number one and number three. This thing's confusing me. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tennessee was number one and Georgia was number 3. Pit them against each other really tells you who's number one, really. And it's been Georgia the whole time. I mean, we both picked Georgia winning this game. We had no doubts about it. But sorry, Tennessee fans, short-lived victory. But at least you guys can still probably make the playoffs and try again maybe. So.
See, that's the shame if it is. If say the season goes how it looks like right now, and everybody kind of wins the games they're supposed to win, does Alabama get put in the playoff thing over TCU?
That's gonna be hard to try to do that. That's gonna be hard.
You know they're going to try though, right?
TCU, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But the thing about it too is like TCU is about to go have a big game now. They lose this game, and then Alabama wins their next game, and I have no idea who Alabama plays actually. I think they play a good team because I'll put them on here. They play Ole Miss. It's not that good of a team, but we will talk about that in a second. But yeah, I mean, if somehow, not even somehow, but if Alabama wins, TCU loses, are they gonna try to sneak Alabama up in there a little bit, and then but the other thing is too is like, will Alabama have a chance for a SEC championship still?
They do. They do. They have a shot. They'll make the championship game. If they win it, then it is what it is. I mean, we'll see. Right now, I don't know if I would pick them over Georgia. I probably would want to lean that way, but Alabama has been so inconsistent. They really have been.
Yeah. This is Remy. What's up, Rem? He says Alabama has a chance. I'm sorry. Alabama's season, unfortunately, is over. But if anyone gets a second chance or third chance, it's them. They've proven they can do it with 1 or 2 losses. Yeah, I get that too. It's kind of unfair though about that. It's kind of like you're gonna push them in because they're. And I get, yes, they're Alabama. They can turn it around, and it probably will be one of the more exciting teams. You see, Ray, this is why we need 8-team playoffs, honestly.
I agree.
This is literally why we need.
Agreed.
Let the best teams duke it out. Don't let it be 4 teams, because now you're going to be having people like, this team shouldn't be in there, and this team should be in there, and this and that.
And the crazy thing is that this year is justified because the teams have all been so inconsistent. It's like, who does deserve to be in the top 4 teams?
No, I agree. I
don't know. I really don't know. I mean, you can go Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they belong there.
Yeah.
I think TCU with their record belongs there. But do they belong there over teams like LSU and Alabama talent-wise? Probably not, but their record indicates they should be there. So
yeah, Rem says I'll be shocked if they make it. I agree.
I agree with it.
Not trying to be like that, and TCU fans are looking at that, but I'd be shocked as well, honestly, because they're gonna try to sneak these guys in, and I'm pretty sure they are hoping some way TCU get 1 loss, and then they're gonna drop them down somehow.
Well, they have a big game against Texas this week. We'll see what happens.
No, 100%. All right. Let's get to our next topic. So we're gonna talk about the rest of week 10. And we gotta talk about the team that we were just talking about, Alabama versus TCU. I'm sorry, LSU. I don't know why I'm saying all types of different names right now. Alabama versus LSU. Ray, this game was actually in LSU's favor until the end of the game. LSU came back as they. I'm sorry, Alabama came back as they usually do. Went to overtime. Alabama went down the field, scored a touchdown. I believe they got saved by a couple of penalties. I did watch the end of it. I kind of vague on what I'm thinking. They did run down the field by a couple of penalties. They got the touchdown. LSU quickly got a touchdown, really quickly. 2 plays, really. Some very cool, great design plays, and then went for 2 and got it. It was a great play. It was a smart play by your boy out there. So Ray, what any take backs from this game?
Again, they did their thing. They went for a 2-point conversion. They won the game. Hey man, kudos to them. I mean, I'm not a
The guts. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Brian Kelly do something like that. I
no,
could be wrong. You tell me.
no,
You know more than anybody.
no. He was Mr. Complacent at Notre Dame.
Very gutsy. That was a very gutsy
Yeah,
play.
well,
Not only gutsy play, it was such a great design play. I love the design of the play.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll give him. Yeah, man, good for him. It took a lot of. I mean, I'm not even gonna say guts, man. What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
You had
that's
nothing
true.
to lose. I mean, you everything to gain, nothing to lose.
That is true because they already had 2 losses. If they're gonna lose, they're gonna fall, or if they win, they look
I mean,
great. Look
honestly,
good.
if they'd have lost the game by a point, a couple points, and then people would think, oh, well, they played well. The
Yeah,
fact that they had the intelligence to go for it. I don't even want to say the guts or nothing because it was you had nothing to lose by going for it.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. But I was very surprised. I mean, and I don't think it's just the guts. It's also like, dude, this is a Alabama team. Most teams will be like, take what we get, take what we get,
Oh,
take
I'll
what
just take
we
a
can
tie.
get,
I'll
and
just
just
take the
go
tie.
for
I'll
it
just
and
take the
forward.
tie. Yeah, no.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I will give him. I will give him that. It was an intelligent move.
Hmm.
Unlike Brian Kelly, it was a very intelligent move. It's calculated. Good for him, man.
I agree, man. It was a good game. I seen, like I said, I seen it, especially in overtime. And what's the quarterback name? JT Daniels.
Daniels, yeah, had a good
Daniels,
game.
very good game. And that run that he had in that second quarter, I was like, woo, boy. I was like, no way that he just did that to them, man. He just don't and let's talk about the blocking. I hate when there's especially with quarterback runs and nobody talks about the blocking. The blocking by these receivers was astounding, astounding. It was, dude, like you want to teach if you're a trainers out there and you're trying to teach or trying to show how wide receivers what to do. That is what you need to do. Teach them how to block. Teach them how to block first because that was exactly what you want out of receivers. He without his receivers, that wasn't happening. It was great running by him, but his receivers blocked very, very well on that. So kudos to them. Any last words on that game, Ray?
No, I just thought, like, again, good for LSU. I had Alabama like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama was a 2-3 point favorite. I mean, 3 point score over. You know, was the favorite, and they just didn't get the job done. Like their defense has not played well, man. And another game where they didn't play well. So
Yeah, yeah. I wonder what's. I mean, I know Nick Saban's not happy, obviously, but I mean, imagine Alabama losing again, man. Like, ugh. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna go on a stream and be like, oh yeah, the program's over, shut it down. They're not getting no more recruits. It's not that case, but
no.
it's also just like, man, they're having a down year, and this is so unlike Alabama. So especially if they get a third one, for sure.
Well, they had a down year recruiting too, which was
That's
a little
true.
surprising.
I joined late, but this is an unlikely scenario. Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and then the Pac-12 or AFC winner in Tennessee. I think he meant to say SEC winner, and Tennessee end up playing for top four to get in. Uh, I mean, yeah, obviously the Ohio State Michigan game is that much more important now. Whoever loses that, I think they still have a chance. Um, but it makes it hard because it's so late in the game too. Honestly, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, I think they're still gonna be okay. If Michigan loses to Ohio State, I don't think we're gonna make it. Honestly, I'm gonna be. Oh, he said ACC. That's what he meant to say. ACC.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I think if Michigan lose, they're not gonna make it. They're gonna knock us out.
I think if Michigan loses a close game to Ohio State,
If it's close, yeah, then
stay
be okay.
in there. I mean,
Yeah.
my cool question is, I know Oregon lost to Georgia earlier this year. Wasn't a close game though, right? I don't remember the score.
Oregon to who?
Lost to Georgia the first game of the year, I believe.
Yeah. Georgia stomped them. Them.
So I mean, Oregon would be the other team.
Mm-hmm.
See, my thing is, I understand like people will want to put another SEC team in there, but Tennessee can't be the team because they're not going to beat Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, if they go in the championship game, could it be Tennessee, Georgia? I forget what.
I don't know. I'm not sure which division they belong in both conferences. I mean, in that division, I don't know that, but
I'm gonna try to check real quick.
I want to check it right now too. So,
but yeah, so I think it's let's see standings. This should help me. So let's see what we got here. ACC, Big 12, Independent, blah, blah, blah.
Well, no, Georgia and Tennessee would play in the.
Yeah, they're in the same. They're both in the East.
Right, so they would play. They would play each other probably to get to the championship game. So they won't play each other. So
yeah, so
not playing.
So if we looking at it like that, right? At the moment, it would be Georgia and LSU at the moment, right? It's crazy, which is crazy. The only way Tennessee will be able to make the playoffs, I think, right now, would be for Georgia to lose in the championship game. That's the only way I can think. Like, because LSU got 2 losses. So even if LSU wins, would they make the playoff with 2 losses over Tennessee?
No.
It's
weird. It's over Alabama.
Oh, man, that would be a crazy. Tennessee has an impressive resume, though, right? Yeah, you can say that. I mean, they have a lot of ranked teams that they beat. They did beat Alabama, so that helps them a lot. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough. How does it make it better though? They only lost it to number 1 Georgia, and it should get in, right? That's what I'm saying. Like that, dude. I would not. If Georgia happened to lose, I don't think this is happening, but Georgia happens to lose in the championship game somehow to LSU. Now you got LSU, Georgia, and Tennessee to worry about. If Tennessee does what they're supposed to do, because I don't think Tennessee plays LSU. Let's see who Tennessee plays this the rest of the year. So Tennessee has Mizzou. They're playing Mizzou this weekend. South Carolina and Vandy. Whew, man, that's rough. That's rough. That is so rough. What are you doing with the SEC, man? Georgia's in no matter what I feel. Bro, honestly, you might be right about that, Remy. You actually might be right about that. LSU in the championship game. You might be right about that, Remy. Georgia might just stay in, even if they lose. Georgia's probably just a lot right now.
Well, see, here's the problem with that. Isn't Alabama still no. No, LSU would probably be ranked ahead of Alabama because they beat them.
Yeah, because they both had two losses. The only other way is LSU loses another game. Let's see who LSU plays. And I know we kind of like talking about SEC stuck in SEC right now, but it's good conversation. I mean, so LSU played Arkansas, UAB, and Texas A&M. So Texas A&M is not a pushover. Neither is Arkansas. We'll see how they do. I think they should be both them team games though. Although they won't be easy games. They're good opponents, and they're both away for both of those. So they're not going to beat those. So they'll have to beat those. They have to go undefeated the rest of the week, this season. And they got the tiebreaker. They will have the tiebreaker over Alabama. And I look like a lost red, but they had the tiebreaker over Alabama. So LSU will not lose, will not get in with two losses. That would be outrage. No, 100%. Oh no, yeah, they would definitely not get in with that. I mean, if they get in somehow with that kind of record, I mean, dude, that would be insane. That would definitely be insane if they have two losses and get in the playoffs. I don't think they get in the playoffs. Um, Dang, man, that is tough though. Remy, you might be right. You might be right. You might have to just keep Georgia in and then do what you can with that because what's up, Ray?
I hit my thing and knocked myself offline, man. I'm sorry about that.
No, you good. Is that okay?
I hear what you said.
No, he was saying that LSU would not be able to get in with two losses, and I agree with him. I do, but
you can't put Alabama in over ahead of them now. Alabama has two losses too, and they lost to LSU, so you can't put them ahead of them.
And that's exactly what I mean. Unless you have LSU, right? LSU wins out, right? Get into the championship game. Let's say they hypothetically do beat Georgia. Who you gonna put in? Like now you got a two-loss LSU team. You got Georgia, who just lost to LSU. And again, we're not saying this is happening, but we're just trying to put out scenarios. And then you got a Alabama team who they want to put in there, but they won't be able to because LSU just beat them.
They can't.
And they beat Georgia. So it's like you gotta put in a two-loss team into the playoffs. That's weird, dude. And then if that's the case, then you got TCU, you got Oregon. You got those teams in there. You might have a one-loss team to either you are gonna have a one-loss team to either Ohio State or Michigan. You got those teams in there. You got one-loss team with Georgia. I think Georgia gets in no matter what, even if they lose in the championship game because of that log jam. So then you have Georgia's going to definitely be in there. Then you got to look at LSU and Alabama still. You still got to look at those two. But see if that scenario happens. Then you got Tennessee with a one loss right there, who's wins. Is it? Ooh, man, that scenario would be crazy if that happened.
When did the playoff format start coming out? Do you know that?
The playoff format?
Yeah, like the top four.
That already been out. That's the rankings. You talking about the playoff rankings?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
TCU's number 4.
TCU's number 4.
So they're number 4 then. They're fine. They just got to win out. They have a big game against Texas this week. We'll see what happens.
So all right. So you think if everything plays out how we're talking about,
if TCU goes the rest of the year and doesn't lose a game, and they're a top 4 team for the plus right now, you can't knock them out.
That's true.
You can't.
You're right. So you're gonna have, if that scenario happens, you got Georgia. You still got you're gonna have Ohio State or Michigan. I think that at least one of them gets in, if not both.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have TCU, who's number 4 right now, and they'll be one out. So even if LSU wins, LSU's probably not still gonna playoffs, right?
Well, what is the difference between putting them in and putting Alabama in? There is no difference.
They have a win. They have a win over Alabama, though.
That's the thing, though. That's why you can't put Alabama. You'd have to put them in.
That's what I'm saying.
Even with the 2 losses.
Even then, you're gonna put them in with 2 losses, and then you got a 1-loss team to either Alabama. Michigan or Ohio
As
State.
long as it's a close game, no, you won't. You'll have the two Big Ten teams in there. As long as it's a good game.
So, oh my goodness. So you're gonna have if LSU wins this game, win that game. You telling me that the playoffs are gonna literally not move? That's literally that would be insane. I mean, again, I don't think this is gonna happen, but dude, like, how do you get that log jam? This is why we need a bigger playoff, man. This is like it would be unfair either way you do it.
That's the problem, right? That you just
Either
said
way you
yourself.
do it, it's gonna be unfair.
That is the number one problem. We know it's unfair. It's
Yeah.
been unfair forever, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't care. So,
Mm-hmm. Remember that one year? It was I think it was TCU again, and they just missed it.
mm-hmm,
It was similar. It was a similar situation.
mm-hmm.
Everybody thought, "Oh man, TCU is gonna be in. TCU is gonna be in," and they didn't. And that was that team. Now that team, I had confidence in. That was a good team. And then you had the same situation, not like the scenario we're talking about now, because it wasn't as crazy as this year. But last year with Cincinnati, a lot of people was like, "Oh yeah, they're undefeated," but dude, there's better teams that should have been in the top four. So this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, I mean, the problem with that is this: explain Texas A&M to me.
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
you're saying that there are teams better than TCU.
Oh no. And
You're saying roster wise, okay? Texas A&M has a good roster, but they
yeah,
haven't
no,
won
you're right.
all year.
No, you're right, dude. No. I'm not saying like you're right. You're 100% right. But at the same time, we both know they want to pay Alabama in. They want to.
Oh, they of course they
They
want,
want to find, dude.
but they
Anything.
can't. They can't unless they win a conference championship. They can't put them in now.
No, I know.
They can't. You can't. You can't. If Michigan wins or loses by a point or two to Ohio State, or vice versa, you're going to put both of them in because they're both good teams and they're both. I mean, like, man, we all have had this debate forever. What is the better conference? The SEC has been traditionally a better conference for a long time now. Let's face it.
Correct.
But the Big Ten is not a slash conference, man. It's a very good conference.
No, I
So
agree.
you have two undefeated teams going into the championship round, and then one of them teams lose a close game to that team. You put both of them teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or still, just because they played each other doesn't mean they're not a top 5 team.
No, I agree. Wow, these last 3 weeks is gonna be insane.
It's going to be fun.
It's gonna be insane.
I mean, more interesting than the games you probably are this year.
No, for real. Yeah, I agree. All right, real quick, let's get into one more game because I want to really talk about this, especially now. It's your team, right? So we're gonna give your team the glory. Notre Dame versus Clemson, man. A total domination. It was 14-0 at halftime. Came away with it. Clemson only scored 2 touchdowns at the end of the game. They went with block punts for touchdowns and all that. Yeah, pull up all the stops to really get this game going, man. And again, a very inconsistent Clemson team. Almost lost to Syracuse. Syracuse. Yeah, almost lost to a couple of teams this year, man. What's your take on this team, and how did your team pull it out?
Man, Notre Dame's offensive line just dominated their defensive line. They really did. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to watch for me because I'm an old school type of a guy. To watch old style football, just literally like Notre Dame did, and it was a basic blocking scheme. Duo blocking, double team the interior. Wherever the hole is, pick your hole and get through it. And that was the game plan. Now, I will say this. Clemson's defensive linemen are like guys that want to penetrate and get upfield. Notre Dame used that against them. They let them guys get upfield and then just shielded them one side or the other. And Notre Dame, man, they ran the ball right down their throat, man. It was
y'all becoming such a running team where your quarterback is only throwing for 85 yards.
265 yards rushing.
17 attempts.
You're going to run for If you're going to average 7 yards a carry, you don't need to throw the ball.
Heck no. Nah. I mean, Michigan does
It was,
but
honestly, Jerome, that was one of my favorite games I have seen in a long, long, long time. I mean, we beat Clemson a couple years ago
yeah,
without Trevor Lawrence, and that was a great win. And
that was
exciting.
a
But
fun. That
this
was a fun game.
game, it was a very fun game. But this game was like as dominant as I've seen Notre Dame's offensive line in a long time, man. It was
Yeah, and we were just coming off. We were just talking about how your offensive line just kind of fell off because Notre Dame is traditionally a good offensive line team, you know. And we were like, just a few weeks ago, we were like, "What's going on with their offensive line? This and that." And you know what it was? They run blockers, man. Let them boys get up moving.
that and the fact that you brought back Harry Easton, who had left them a few years ago because him and Brian Kelly didn't get along.
Correct.
And he went to Chicago, and yeah, man, we all want to go to the big show, and
Yeah.
we all want to make money. So he did that for a few years, and now he's back at Notre Dame. Him and Marcus Freeman seem to have a very good relationship. Marcus Freeman is one of them guys, man. I've never seen anybody say anything bad about the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, players, coaches, media.
Even when it was down. Even when it was down.
People just no. Like there were some Notre Dame fans overreacting to the first couple of losses. Well, I expect that. But now you've seen where I'm gonna tell you, Marcus Freeman 3 games ago turned the corner, man. He did.
And I now. As a young coach, first year, I 100% respect that. I mean, you guys already see I'm an Eagles fan. It happened to us last year. Nick Sirianni did the same thing. He was trying to put in their offense, and it was just not working. What did they do? Dude, we got to start running the ball. They started running the ball. And Notre Dame's looking at the Eagles right now of last year, man. They did the same thing and, turned it around. So Remy says the fans were talking some nonsense about him 3 games into the season. Now, look, they turned around and looking good for next season. I mean, dude, hey, I'm an Eagles fan, but we was talking the same junk about Nick Sirianni. I wasn't saying that. I'm always get the guy a chance first year, let him figure it out. But I will always respect a coach that says my game plan ain't working. Let's switch it up, do something different. Because I'll tell you this: when the Eagles had Chip Kelly, he would not do that. he would not change his game plan for nothing.
Problem with Chip Kelly we've talked about before. He is a fast, which is fine.
Yep.
Get a lead, but you have to be able to close up the game. And he was unable to do
that. You can't tire out your defense like that.
No, man, and again, get back to Marcus Freeman. Like, I noticed 3 games ago that he was more boisterous, more, telling his coaches. Like, I think in the beginning he wanted to be a coach's coach. Mm-hmm. He wanted to let his guys do their thing. But lately, you've noticed, no, I'm not liking this. Let's do something different. And I mean, totally. I am excited about what Notre Dame is going to be the next couple of years. I really am. So
no, and as a fan, you should be. You really should be. So, definitely. So, you know what? I'm not a fan of, Ray.
What's that?
Our record.
Oh God, dude.
Oh my goodness! All right, so I called back up to Ray. Yay for me! It felt like a bittersweet type of victory because, like, last week Ray was 3-7, I was 4-6. We're doing horrible. As you see, we're 77-66. That's what I say, 52%.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Horrible. If we were coaches right now, we'll be fired.
If I were a betting man, I would hate me right now.
Bro, I think he's a good coach that players is gonna love playing for Notre Dame in the future. Yeah, they definitely. And they got some great classes coming in soon. So
they do.
I definitely don't doubt that for sure. So yeah, I hope he builds on this. I hope he keeps going. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I actually don't like Notre Dame, but I do root for you guys, especially if my guy Ray liked them, and I do root for you guys. I always root for good teams. I root for good teams, unless your name is Ohio State. I root for good teams to happen. So When I see good teams, it just makes everybody else better. It makes college football even better. So
Well, I thought you want me to Jerome, you're gonna be really happy with what I'm gonna do right now.
he said, "I love beating
Um
Notre Dame."
I
Right.
love beating Notre Dame. Who's that?
Anytime. Ohio State. That's Remy.
That's Remy. Okay.
Yeah.
Um I love beating I would say I love beating Ohio State,
Mhm.
but they don't really matter to me, so it don't matter. Um
Yes.
yeah. What I loved is Notre Dame's defense, 4 sacks, 2 picks, one for a touchdown. Benjamin Morrison, a freshman corner. Remember that name, Jerome.
Yes. Yeah.
It is
Yo. Oh,
going
right.
to be a player.
Thank you for bringing him up because I was looking at him too. I was like, "Yo, who is this kid, man?"
He's a
Oh.
freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Thanks for bringing him up, Rick. Because
has
I
me excited,
almost forgot.
man. Their defense, the way they dominated Clemson this week, man. Oh my god, dude. It was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, because I
I
remember Ray,
literally
you were saying like their cornerbacks was like struggling, and then I've been watching. I'm like, they struggling, but this one corner, hmm, hmm. And then like you said, this weekend, yeah, he balled
well,
out.
yeah, he's wearing number 20 too, so you got like that.
Said Ray, you probably pre I can't say that word. I'm sorry. Prepubescent. The last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State, or maybe not even born.
You know what? Honestly, it's weird. One of them weird situations where when Ohio State's been good, Notre Dame hasn't really been that good, or vice versa. And again, man, like when I was a kid, Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Alabama, Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
They're the teams, man. Ohio State
Yeah.
is not even a blip on my radar. I don't even
Ooh.
care about them. They're like that team that no one even cares about, except for unless you're from Ohio.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, you know what? My favorite part about we're gonna get to our thing right after this, but my favorite part about Michigan being undefeated.
What's that?
That winning record keep going up and up and up. It makes it hard for everybody to catch on, man. And that's one thing I can hold on to. We haven't had a championship in a while, so I need something. I need something to hold on to, and that's that Michigan record. If we ever lose that record, I'm gonna be devastated. He said, "I love watching Ray's face get red." I love that dude. Ah man, it does get red, right? It is funny.
It's always right. I'm Irish, man. Can't help it.
All right, let's get into our week 11 predictions, man. I know that's what y'all
Do we
been
have
waiting
to?
for. Wait, maybe y'all don't be waiting for it because we've been doing horrible. Maybe you're not waiting for this. Maybe you just like these guys suck. I don't know. But let's get right into it, right? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong dates. That is not right because Alabama did not play Andrew Pete this week. All right, here we go. So let's get right. Oh, that's why because there's games going on right now, actually. All right,
Yeah.
let's get right into it. LSU versus Arkansas. Ray, who are you taking in that one? LSU is favored by 3.
I'm taking
Away,
LSU.
away.
Taking LSU. They're away. They're still favored. I'll take LSU.
Yeah. Oh, I will say I'm taking LSU. I would not be surprised if it's a track game. I feel like LSU probably put a lot into this. I'm gonna take LSU, but be careful because Arkansas is not a bad team. They only 5-3, 4-3, something like that.
I'll
They're
be
probably
rooting for Arkansas. See, that's the thing. Man, I would like to do good on my picks. Obviously, that's the goal. But
Mhm.
like, I think the crazy thing is, Jerome, if I wouldn't have taken Notre Dame last week, you'd be a game ahead of me right now.
Don, what's going on,
We cannot have that. Come on, man.
for real. Oh, dude. No, for real. We are Don, thanks for being in here. I know you always come in here at the right time when we talk about the picks. And I don't know if you missed us or not, but we've been doing bad. So be careful. I'm just gonna say, I'm just doing I'm not gonna say don't listen to us, but we've been doing pretty bad. We're 77-66 right now. So um Ray, I thought about you when Notre Dame beats Syracuse and Clemson.
Yeah, well, thank you for thinking about me, man. I was at the Syracuse game. What a great feeling.
Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't been in here, Braves finally went to a Notre Dame game and they won. Now,
Yes,
granted, it was not at home,
that's the key.
but but hey, maybe things turn around for him.
I'm thinking that we're going to be okay now. I am. I'm going to be honest with you. That Syracuse game was one of my favorite games ever, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm in the stands, and if you're again, like I said last week, if you've never been to the Syracuse Stadium, it's loud there. I mean, it is loud. And at the end, by the middle of the fourth quarter, there was nobody in the stands except for Notre Dame fans. It was so cool. It
that's a
was
great
so
point.
much fun.
LSU Tigers took down LSU Alabama, baby. Yay, man! Hey, Don, you called that one. You called it. Congrats to you, man. Congrats. Tennessee defense is Swiss cheese. Man, there's no, not only Tennessee, man. There's a lot of defenses that are Swiss cheese.
Alabama's not even Swiss cheese right now. It's like no cheese.
It's like that molded blue cheese, like that
It's like,
extra molded blue cheese.
ooh, I like blue cheese, man. It's good stuff.
Ugh, blue cheese is gross. Anyway, we're not talking food here.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to
It's
our next
delicious,
game.
brother. Delicious.
Appalachian State versus Marshall. Marshall is at home. Appalachian State is favored by 1 point away. Both teams just coming off a loss to Coastal Carolina. Speaking of Coastal Carolina, definitely keep an eye out because we have a Coastal Carolina interview coming out. So, definitely keep an eye on that. I'm not gonna say who it is until it's out, but make sure you keep an eye on that. But anyway, Marshall and App State, who you taking?
I think I'm taking Appalachian State, man.
I am too, actually. I think they are the better team. It's crazy because again, I mean, you said that we think Marshall's a good team, but I think that Marshall, I'm not gonna say they're a bad team, but also like they are just getting in this conference and they're not used to these teams also. So it's like these teams are comfortable in what they're doing, and they've been in here. They're the new kid on the block, so they're gonna get smacked up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that with Marshall, what you see is that they don't have good linebackers. If you can get out in space against their linebackers, you can make plays on them.
Mm-hmm. And
I think
exactly what Don is saying about Appalachian State having that running game.
correct.
Their
That's
linebackers are not great.
I wish that Notre Dame's run game again earlier in the year was as good as it is right now.
Yeah,
Because
Marshall's
right
definitely.
now, I think they would roll over Marshall.
Mhm.
Earlier in the year, they were still finding their feet underneath them with their offensive line.
Mhm.
Notre Dame's offensive line has played a lot better the last month.
Mhm.
I would love to play Marshall right now and see what would happen against them, but that's not
I
reality.
bet. I bet
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so I think 2 weeks ago, if you would have asked this question, it would be like, oh yeah, of course, this is a game that what to call it, and actually the line actually changed too. It's funny, just a little bit from what I'm doing. I'm actually keeping track of this now. Alabama versus Ole Miss. Alabama's looking kind of leaky, but Alabama is favored by 12 away. Ole Miss is Ole Miss. Where are you taking? Is it still obvious?
I'm taking Alabama, but it's not obvious anymore.
It's not
Man.
obvious anymore. That's the thing, and that's why I put it on here. It's not obvious anymore.
It's not.
It's not. It used to be 2 weeks ago. This was obvious. It's not obvious anymore. I'm going to say
For the last 10 years, it's been obvious.
yeah, no.
But this year, the way Alabama's defense has struggled, especially in the trenches, their defensive line has not played well. Their linebackers have not played well. They're just really I think a Michigan and Ohio State team playing at full strength could really give Alabama a good game right now. I think they could beat them, which is really surprising to say. But Michigan's front is so so physical.
Alabama is not.
I don't know what Alabama would do against them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree, Ray. Yeah. And the funny thing is that this game is not obvious. We're talking about this game is not obvious. Alabama's not the team that they used to be. There's always a possibility. Now there's a possibility that a team like Ole Miss can beat them. But at the same time, I'm not mad at this line either.
No, 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 no.
At the same time, I am not mad at this line at all. That's
Plus,
the
Ole
funny
Miss.
thing.
Ole Miss is one of the teams they play way better on at home than they do on the road.
They do, and they do
That's
play
another
there.
thing to their benefit. So yeah, but
Yeah.
again,
Um,
if you're going to ask me, do I think it could be closer than 12 points? Yeah, probably will be because the way Alabama's defense is played. But I
mhm.
can't say they're going to lose the game. I just don't see that. So
I agree. All right, we got USC versus Tulane. Let me get that line. Uh, Tulane is home. They are favored by 1.5 over UCF. Right, who you taking?
I'm taking UCF in that game.
You going against the line?
I
Well, yeah, I see. It's not that much either. So
Yeah. Plus, it's home. They should be favored by 3 or 4 points in this game. Really.
no, definitely. Man, this one's hard for me. The reason why this is hard for me because I haven't seen too much Tulane games, so I don't know how they really play.
Neither have I.
I go by what I see and stuff like that. So when I'm not sure, and the crazy thing is I don't even know the quarterback like that. Hurry's pretty decent, but I don't know him. I have never seen him actually play, and that when I don't see a team play that often, it makes me weary because they're both ranked teams. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how good are they playing? I never seen Tulane actually play. I don't think I ever actually physically watched a Tulane game, honestly. Um, in my life, honestly, I don't think I ever seen one Tulane game in my life.
When I see them like later on, like when they're like the last couple games of the season, because they're one of them teams they put on Thursday night.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I'm going to the game this Saturday at Tulane. The stadium is going to be packed. House Tulane for the win right out. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to USC just because I don't know about Tulane. Personally, they are a better ranked team. They are favored, but they're favored at home by not much, so it's not that much of a advantage for them right now. But I'm gonna go USC. Just how the line is, and they are home and not more than 3. So I'm gonna side with Ray on this one, and I'm gonna go by the line.
Oh no,
Um,
man, maybe you should go with Don. No, I'm just kidding.
maybe you might be right.
I'm
You might
serious.
be right. All right, next one we got Baylor versus K State. Last time I checked, Baylor was favored by 3. Let's see if that changed. Where is it? Where is it? I don't
I
see
have
it.
Baylor by 2.5.
Baylor by 2.5.
Yeah.
It might have changed. That was again, guys. I look at this on Monday. I'm actually writing down the line on Monday so we can kind of see how it moves. Yes, right. You are correct. Baylor is at home. They're favored by 2.5. Who you taking?
I hate to do this, but I'm going to take Baylor, and I know you're going to take K State. So
Yeah,
that kind of
I'm
is going to mess me
100%
up.
taking K State.
All right.
K State, they had one loss that I was just like, I wish they didn't lose that way because I actually had them winning and they kind of got blown out in that game. But their other 2 losses were not bad losses. And K State's a good team. When they rolling, they really roll. I like that team. I'm gonna stick with K State, Ray. I know you know I was gonna pick them, but
No, you
uh,
know.
Baylor's defense. I feel like K State's offense is playing right into Baylor's defense type of round. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think KC's defense is good enough for Baylor's offense. As long as K State stay on the ground too and take the time of possession, which I think they will do. I think they'll be fine. I think they can win this one. So we'll see, man. This is a close one for me too. So I'm not gonna. I don't blame you for picking Baylor, actually, honestly.
Yeah.
So all right, we got Texas versus TCU. This is gonna be probably one of the games of the week. Honestly, here, I'm pretty sure everybody gonna want to see this. Texas, pretty good team. I mean, they be up and down sometimes, and but they have more ups than downs. We just talked about TCU, a team that I think don't really have good defense. They haven't been playing against great defenses. Ray, who you taking this one? Looking
Taking
for this.
Texas. I almost hate to do that, but I'm taking Texas in the game.
Yeah, Ray. I am going for Texas too. Again, don't really trust TCU. We'll see how this goes. Texas is actually home, and they are favored by 7.
Yeah.
That's the same line I had already from Monday. So
Yep.
it really
Because I
changed.
moved it all since Monday, so I can't. They're at home. They're favored by a touchdown. I can't see them losing.
Yeah,
Of course, I don't. That doesn't mean they won't.
yeah.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
I don't think I should see that. So
But I don't see TCU's defense like doing much against BJ Robinson.
No, I don't think so either. I think Texas will. That's the thing. If Texas comes out and they establish a run, they'll be fine. If they
Exactly.
try to think they can throw the ball over the field, then they could be in trouble.
No, I 100% agree. Auburn versus Texas A&M. Auburn is at home. They're favored by 3. That changed from Monday. They was actually favored by 2. So it went down a little bit. Who you taking in that one, Ray? They both 3-6. That don't even
I'm
sound
going to
right.
take Auburn in
It
the
sounds right
game.
for Auburn, but it don't sound right for TCU. That's weird. I mean, Texas
I
A&M, sorry.
hate it, but I'm picking Auburn.
Really? Hmm. Dude, I'm gonna take A&M so. I think Auburn's that great. I'm gonna do it. Dude, if they lose again, I'm
I'm
not
taking
gonna
Texas
pick them
A&M.
again this week. I'm taking A&M. I'm taking A&M.
Okay.
They're supposed to be the more talented team. I just think honestly, I really think it's top coaching. Honestly, like the coach is not good there right now. I don't know. There's no way you have all that talent, and we really like. I see that talent all the time, and I'm just like, why are they losing? Why are they losing? It's
They
weird.
don't play well.
Yeah, they don't.
The coach thinks he's still in Florida State.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like acting like he's got like more talented team than anybody in the country. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, he's another one like out earlier in the year complaining about recruiting, and he's as crooked as anybody. He deserves everything he gets. So
Definitely. Tulane's defense is nasty. Y'all watch Saturday. I will definitely watch. Again, don't watch Tulane enough, so I couldn't tell you. So apologize for that. I'm going by the line this time just because. And like I said, like I always say, I don't go by the line that often. All right, next game we got Wake Forest versus UNC. Wake Forest is favored at home by 3.5. UNC, North Carolina, is ranked 15. They only got one loss. But they got Wake Forest beating them. Right? Who you taking this one?
I'm taking Wake Forest, man.
Mm.
The only reason I'm doing it is because I think Wake Forest is a better defense.
Yeah.
And they have a strong running game.
Mm-hmm.
And North Carolina's defense is horrible, man.
And I think Hartman, right? Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
I think he's a serviceable quarterback. I think he
is
does enough to win. This one of those situations where I might go for the better quarterback, and I believe his name is Tart.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you a question after this. I'm doing UNC, and I'm gonna ask you a question after this because there's been a question floating on the internet, and I was like, So I'm gonna ask you after this. After we finish these rankings.
Right.
I'm gonna go UNC. Not really comfortable with it because exactly for the reasons you said, right? Wake Forest do that the better run the better defense. And they are home. They are at home. I think North Carolina might air it out a little bit more better though. We'll see. Definitely, it's definitely a good one. All right, let's get to this. I'm gonna ask my question afterwards. We got Wisconsin versus Iowa. Last time I checked, Iowa was favored by 1 at home.
I'm taking Wisconsin in that game, dude.
Oh, it flipped. So Wisconsin's actually favored by 1.5.
Yeah.
It did flip. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a close one. It did flip. I like this matchup. I think they match up pretty well against each other. Actually, you say Wisconsin?
I got Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that with you. Close game. I like this. I like the line. It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
It's going Wisconsin as well. All right. Last but not least, we're going with Georgia Tech versus Miami. Last time I checked, Georgia Tech was home and they're favored by 1.5.
I'm going to take
Uh,
Miami in that game.
Let me double check what the line is now. It's still the same. Still the same. So you going with Miami?
Yeah, I'm going to take Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Miami gets one. I think this is gonna be. I don't know. I feel like this is a weird line, honestly. Um, I know Miami hasn't been playing that well, but Miami still have the talent. Georgia Tech is a solid team. I don't think they're talented though.
No.
Um, yeah, I think I'm
They're
gonna go
not as
Miami too,
they're
right?
not as athletic as they usually are this year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And after losing Gibbs, I think they just kind of took that dip, you know. So
Yeah, I
um,
mean they're only favored by a point and a half at home. Miami is like you hear some rumbling right now about Mario Cristobal not being happy with his offensive line. So I think that maybe they get something done this week. We'll see.
definitely 100%. What is the name of the Ohio State quarterback, real quick?
Ohio
Um,
State.
yeah, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Ohio State's quarterback. Oh, somebody help me.
CJ Stroud.
Stroud. Okay, I'll.
Excuse me. I'm like Ohio State. Okay, why?
It's part of my question.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, Stroud. Stroud or Stroud? D or T?
Stroud. D. As in.
All right, let me see if I can pull up this.
Is this a question for me or for Remy?
It's for you. It's for you. I'm trying to see if I can
Well,
find.
I'm not an Ohio State expert, so you know.
So there was a stat. I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to keep looking for it while we're talking. And then actually let's answer this question first before we start. Um, what's one game you confident in this weekend, Ray?
Wow. Um, that's a very good question, man.
Hmm. There it is. I found it. Go ahead.
I think Texas is going to beat TCU. I do.
Texan on TCU.
Yeah, I think they're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I like that one. Obviously, I like the Michigan one. um. Let's see. Let's get something more competitive though. Um. I actually, I actually like Appalachian State over Marshall.
I do
I
too.
actually will put money on that. That's a pretty. I feel confident about that one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
pretty
do.
sure. I'm pretty good with that one too.
Yeah, I like
Honestly,
that one.
I wish if Arkansas didn't have a good quarterback, I would love LSU over them.
Yeah,
I'm a little leery because Arkansas's quarterback is really good. So I
yeah,
think he
I
can.
agree.
I think that could be a tough game for them.
No, I agree.
Probably after
Um,
maybe a little bit of letdown after beating Alabama. So you know,
exactly. Yeah. What else? Let's see. Let's see. Is there another one? Yeah, I think those two I'm really confident in. How you feel about that Oregon Washington game?
what's the line in the game?
13 and a half. Oregon's home. Are you really confident in that game though?
No,
Yeah.
no,
That's why I asked you. I was like, it's a big line, but I'm not confident in that game either.
no, not at all.
Uh, let's see.
Oregon is one of them teams where they play well and then they like for quarters and then not well for quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Alabama, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They played good in the first quarter, second quarter not so much, third quarter good, and then they're like kind of up and down too much for me. That's the thing. But you know what, Jerome? Except for Michigan and Ohio State and Georgia, every other team in college football has been like that this year.
I agree. Yeah. Oh man, I just had the stats and it just changed on me. All right. All right. I'm gonna ask my question now, even though I just lost. There it is. All right. Let me actually click it so I don't lose it again. All right. So I seen this online. Shout out to 24/7 Sport. It says, does blank I'm gonna say blank for now, deserve more love in the Heisman conversation? Obviously, the one of the Heisman top guys right now is C.J. Stroud. I'm gonna tell you the stats, and then I'm gonna ask you who you think it is, and then I'm gonna ask you, do you think he should be in the Heisman top? So C.J. Stroud, 2,453 yards, 29 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 75 rushing yards, no rushing touchdowns. Record is 9-1. Now, mystery player is 2,964 yards, so he got more passing yards. 31 touchdowns over 29. 3 interceptions over Strauss 4. 530 rushing yards over Strauss 75. 5 rushing touchdowns over Strauss that don't have any, and only an 8-1 record. One, do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. All right. The person that has those stats are very similar to hit Strauss, except he got more rushing yards and way more rushing yards and more rushing touchdowns. C.J. Stroud versus Drake May for UNC. So I'm not gonna say if he's better. I'm not gonna say that. But should he be in at least in a Heisman conversation?
He should be in the conversation, but he shouldn't take it over Stroud, though.
I agree. I actually agree with that.
Because North Carolina has to play like that because their defense is horrible.
Yeah.
You got to remember, C.J. Stroud has to play in the structure of I have to not turn the ball over and I have to win the game.
Yeah, but like also,
I know Stroud.
Ohio State's recent struggles, though.
Their struggles are on the offensive line, though, which makes the quarterback position to be really, really hard to play. It really does.
I give you that. UNC doesn't play as better defense.
That's the thing. They don't play good defense at all. I mean, if you remember, like when Notre Dame was playing them, they were struggling on offense. Notre Dame, not against North Carolina, though. They were like Notre Dame for 10 years ago.
Definitely. All right, let's see if this last thing for Don, and we're gonna be out because we're definitely over an hour.
What is that?
Don said he has one more game for us to break down. San Diego State versus San
Jose State.
San Jose is favored by 2.5, and they are the better team to him.
Agreed.
Really?
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah.
San Jose State's defensive line is more physical. Their safeties are better. And neither one of them offense is great, but San Jose State will run the ball, and I'll take the running team over a team that wants to air it out all the time.
No, I agree. So, guys, if you agree with that, definitely put your put in the comment section. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely put it in the comment section. We will talk about it on there. Also, if you think that what's his name? I'm forgetting his name already. Drake May. If you think Drake May should be in the Heisman conversation, or at least be close, because right now his stats are better than C.J. Stroud. So if you think that's something, and again, that was something that just popped up to me. I seen it online, brought up by 24/7 Sports. So I just thought we can talk about it. Hey, nothing wrong with talking about something that you see online and see what you guys think. So let us know what you think. Put it in the comment section below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and everything like that. You see that's QR code right there in that corner, right under Ray. So make sure you hit that and like, subscribe. And, yes, sir. Hit that. Make sure you do that. And Make sure you follow us on all our social media. Ray, we just hit over 4,000 on Twitter, man. Definitely hit our goal for this year, so we definitely happy about that. Looking to get at least 5,000 by the end of the year, and then next year we're going for 10. Next
There
year we're
you
going.
go.
So we're
Beautiful.
doing some great stuff, man. We're doing some great stuff. So make sure you support us, help us out, man. We love doing this. We do this every Wednesday. So if you're new to the place, we try to do this every Wednesday. Shout out to Don. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to everybody else that's watching. I seen Avery was watching as well. So appreciate everybody that's in here. So thank you
Funny
guys.
how when Alabama doesn't play well, we hear from Avery, do we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He watching it. Then don't say nothing.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, man. We love you, brother. It's good.
Love you, man. Love you, man. But yeah. So definitely appreciate everybody in here for checking us out, man. Hope y'all have a good one. We was gonna do Ray's rant, but we're just gonna leave that because we're a little bit over this week. So
I'm going to make it. You know what? I can do my rant real quick.
good.
Did we notice since the elections, the gas is going up 15 cents a gallon?
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So they reeled us in. Look what we're doing for you. And as soon as they get what they want us from, they're done. Okay. So do me a favor, people. Don't vote anymore. Okay, please.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate you, man. Again, appreciate everybody in here. We do appreciate everything.
I know I'm a communist. I know.
No, we're not thinking that, guys. You're not thinking that. But again, guys, like and subscribe. Put in your like on the YouTube channel. Put your comment on the YouTube channel. We do comment back. Definitely ask Don. We do comment back when he's on there too. So again, Don, thank you for doing that again. Thanks for everybody else. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope this weekend be good for you guys. If you're an Alabama fan, I hope you have a good weekend. Hope you're not punching the air anymore. It's okay. We all go through it. Y'all don't, but we do. But anyway, thank you guys so much. See you next time. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your football and stay safe.
Take care, everybody.
Peace.